Hey, you. Top of the morning to you, and welcome to the Auspicious Wellness, Optimal Wellness Podcast. Come on in and have a virtual seat at the table. By all means, you know you're invited. It's time for our Monday morning drive time show. Broadcasting live and in the studio. We don't do ordinary, but we endeavor to bring you an extraordinary experience backed by knowledge and research, the Auspicious Wellness Experience. My name is Debbie Smith-Torrance, your host. I'm a life and health coach, a manufacturer in cannabinoid molecules, for short, CBD, an IT developer, and what I'm seriously, everybody that knows me, passionate about is being a wife and being a mother and a grandmother. We are broadcasting live in studio on these platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Deezer, Listen Note, Podbean, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Castro, and Castbox. And wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We're so glad that you're tuning in to listen as we're broadcasting live globally. It's time to dig in, dive in, and drill down. And as always, we sincerely want to be true to you. The information shared today is not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult with your physician for medical advice to treat any such diseases. Well, our episode today is based on high-frequency diets of high alkaline-based diets and identifying acidic foods to help you hopefully remove some of these acidic foods from your diet. Your quest to align your energies with a higher frequency is essential that you provide your body with quality high-frequency foods. In eating a high vibration, we live in a vibrational universe where everything is connected. Every single thing is connected in one way or another. I want to just kind of share something with you that Albert Einstein said. He said, energy is everything. Match your frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but not get that reality. It can be no other way. There is not philosophy. This is not a philosophy. This is physics. That's pretty deep, you think? He says this is not philosophy. This is physics. Spiritual teacher Panache Desai teaches what you vibrate out into the world, the universe echoes back. So what you put out there, you're going to get back. Case in point, this is something I really want people to listen to. This is something that I'm really seriously thinking in my mind. If you live a life surrounded by positivity, will vibrate back into your life. So if you're putting positive vibes out in the universe, you're going to get a bunch of positivity back into your life. But if you live in a life surrounded by negativity and you're always mad, you're always angry, you're always talking about people, you're always putting people down, then that's exactly what you're going to get back. You're going to get people always talking about you, always putting you down, feeling negative about life, because that's what you're putting out. You sow what you reap. You reap what you sow. Okay, let me say that better. You reap what you sow. So if you're being negative constantly all the time and everything in your life is surrounded by negativity, then that's where you're going to end up at on the other spectrum of being in a negative space, whether it's the food you eat, whether it's your interactions with people, whether it's how you wake up, how you go to sleep, how you feel, all those different things. And so what we've got to look at, if you live a life surrounded by negative people, walk away, because this becomes the center of your gravitational pull. That's what I think. That's exactly, if you gravitate to negativity, then that's where you're going to be at in your life. Okay? And that's what it is. It's like crabs in a bucket. You always see crabs pulling each other down, pulling each other back. If you actually, so one time I went fishing with my husband, and we were fishing with crabs. and he told me, he said, okay, baby, look over in the bucket and get one of those crabs and put it on your hook. And I looked at him like, you better get one of those crabs and put it on my hook, because I'm not doing it. Because they were just pulling each other down. As soon as one crawled up, the other was pulling the other one back down. And I just stood there. And instead of me really thinking about the fishing, I started thinking about life, like, wow, isn't this something? That's what people do. But it's true. It's so true. On the other hand, if in this gravitational pull, if you live a life surrounded by positivity, stay grounded. Stay into this space, because the gravitational pull of where your gravity is achievement, fulfillment, accomplishment, loving, relationships, spirituality, and the revelation of your purpose in life. And in order for us to achieve purpose in life, we have to be full-rounded. We have to have everything that we need to be in alignment with positivity. If we take this route, let's go deeper. Let's go full circle and create what I want to really share today, a high-frequency diet, to feel the full extent of positive vibrations and hopefully connect us to optimal wellness, mind, body, spirit, and soul, leading to a life of immunity, immune health at its best. Remember, what you put in your body impacts your vibrations. So today our topic is high-frequency alkaline diets, hopefully reducing the acidity in our diets, life-altering foods and wellness, changing how you eat water-based foods, which are plant-based foods. One of the benefits is less craving, less weight gain, the gravitational pull. Here we are again. So if you're eating healthy foods and you're eating foods that are really, really healthy for you, and there's, like I talked about it so many times, there's a slow energy burn. So guess what's going to happen? You're going to release foods into your body, and they're going to keep you where you need to be nutritionally, and you're not going to feel like, oh, I need to eat. I just ate. I don't know what's wrong with me. My appetite is out of control. It's not your appetite out of control. You're out of control, and you're making your appetite out of control because you're not really eating foods that fulfill you. You're eating foods that they don't fulfill you nutritionally. What you're doing is you're eating foods that are filling you on a mental level, of what we call feel-good foods that fill you up. But the next thing you know, you're hungry all over again. So you keep eating and eating and eating. And the next thing you know is that you gained all this weight. And, you know, you're sluggish. You can't think straight. You're mad all the time. And that's some of those negative vibrations that you're putting out there, because you're not really treating your body the way it's supposed to be treated. So your body can't react the way that you want it to react. And so that's something that you have to think about, cause and effect. And so what I did is I did quite a bit of research so that we could look at what are the benefits. Let's look at this mentally. If we gravitate to unhealthy eating habits, then our bodies become unhealthy. And that's another thing. That's the gravitational pull of unhealthiness. So if you sincerely are not practicing healthy eating habits, and next thing you know, you go to the doctor and your health is failing, and everything is all out of whack. Well, what did you expect? Did you expect for it to go in there and just be and just say, oh, wow, you're the epitome of health? You can't be if you're not doing what you need to be doing. So let's start looking at some ways to get healthy. Let's look at some things that have been studied. Let's just look at getting healthy today. Okay, so here we go. Following an alkaline diet means choosing fruits and vegetables over high-calorie, high-fat choices. Removing prepared food is one of the biggest things because they're high in sodium, and that's the prepared foods. And there's a science around all this, which is I'm just so happy to share it with you today. And also, when you remove high sodium foods, this is a great way to promote heart health because this helps lower blood pressure and cholesterol, which is shown to be a big risk factor for health diseases, high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Those are risk factors, which is why our country is really at an epidemic in heart disease and obesity. We really, really are. And also diabetes. Those are some of the highest risk factors, which are relatable to obesity as well in our country. Getting to a healthy weight is also important in preventing and treating not only diabetes but osteoarthritis as well. Some studies have found that an alkaline environment may make certain chemotherapy drugs more effective or less toxic. And I read that, I was like, whoa, okay, let me read about this some more. This is really, really interesting. And one of the reasons why is because many family members and many people that we know, they suffer from cancer and they have to have chemotherapy. And so this is really good to understand and know, and also discuss with your physician if this is something that you want to do, and ask his or her opinion on it. Creating an exercise plan for at least 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes, will also help you in your journey in wellness. You will have to make sure you get enough protein and calcium if you're going to be doing a plant-based diet. You have to make sure this is one of the things that you want to do. So let's go deeper into the type of foods that you want to be able to eat for a high-frequency diet, which is a high alkaline diet. Negative vibrations create negative outcomes. Once you start to master eating healthy, it becomes a process. It becomes mental. Your mind starts to process what you're putting in your body, and you start hungering for the type of foods that you're training your body to eat. And you stop hungering. What happens is that you stop hungering for unhealthy foods. Then the next thing you start to do is say, everything starts to look like cause and effect. If I put this negative food in my body, this is how I'm going to feel. But if I put what my body needs and give my body the energy and nutrition it needs, I know that I'm going to feel good. My body's going to feel good, and my body's going to react to this in a positive way. And not only is my body going to react to it in a positive way, I'll react to people in a much more positive behavior, because I'm actually putting healthy vibrations out there. And that's what you want to do. You want to take in foods that are going to promote immune health by removing acidic foods, which rob us of our health. And it's a factor. It's known by science that this does. And this process is a one-step, one day at a time process, because it takes time to get to this way of thinking, and it takes time to develop this way of eating. Okay? One way you can look at this is the beauty of time and knowledge. There's a beauty of that. Okay? Learning how to eat to live, creating this beautiful tradition in your families, because a lot of our families have traditions that are not so healthy when it comes to eating. So you yourself can create a different mindset in your family. And we're going to look at some statistics, because that's important before we get into identifying these foods. As generations from the baby boomers, Generation Y, X, and Z, Generation X is concerned more out of all of the different generations. Generation X is concerned more about weight and eating healthy more than any other generation. The rest of us are adapting to this new way of life, and so our food companies, not only our people, but food companies are doing this because it is consumer driven. Okay? 5 of the biggest food companies now are removing artificial ingredients from their brands. The reason why is because it's consumer demand for healthier food choices. Case in point, look at how farmer markets are they're popping up everywhere, because people don't want pesticides and preservatives in their foods anymore. So now the big food companies are saying, we get the message, we get it, and we want to deliver healthier food choices for our consumers, for our customers. And so our world is changing little by little. Remember, what you put out there is what you get back. So little by little, we are changing to become a more healthier environment and a more healthier race of people. And that's really important that we do that. An article in Food and Insight, there's an article that I read, and I wanted to share this article because I read a lot. I read most of my day, and this article really supports this thought process. It really, really does, about the generations, like Generation X, okay? And I really, really want you to look at this. And there was an article in Food and Insight, and based on this survey, it states nearly 6 and 10, 59%